Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together live here on Facebook every day of the week at 10:30 in the morning, where we take a look at current headlines, comments, questions, ideas, tips, and suggestions you may have or I may have, so that we can fully enjoy our lives here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. It is always a pleasure to get together with you, and it is always a pleasure to welcome new friends into our daily get-togethers. If you are new, please know that my name is Paco, and you can let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment, and that way we will give you a proper welcome. It is also a pleasure to welcome our regular friends, folks that join us just about every day. Let's see who is in the house today. While I continue to learn this new chat business, this new bring the comment on the screen business. Linda is joining us from Yakima, which is great. San Mateo is checking in. Hello, Christy. It's great to see you. Let's see who else is here. Grand Venetia and Judy, it's nice to see you this morning. Michael has frozen vocal cords. Well, my goodness, a little bit of tea, maybe. A little bit of tea. Let's see who else. My sister says, good morning por la mañana. Hermanita, it's great to see you. It's great to see all of you. Let's see. Your comments are flying by. Fast and furious, and I love it. As a reminder, of course, if you have something that is truly important for us to... Bum, ba-dum, bum, boom, says Alex. Thank you very much. Yes, that's kind of like the general idea of what happens when I start scrolling. If you have any important comments, as you know, please let us know by writing the letter Q at the beginning of your comment. I still don't know how to get rid of these comments unless I click on another one. So let's click on another one. Sally says, so nice to be with you, and boom. There we go. So this morning we have interesting things to share. A little bit of an update on how President Andrés López Obrador is doing. We also have, let's see, some a little bit of news, good news for Guadalajara, shady news for Puerto Vallarta that I want to share with you, bad news for the movie industry, and other kinds of nice things that we want to share. Anyhow, let us get started with our news. And yesterday, as I was watching the show in the afternoon, I realized that my little news bumpers do have music. They just don't have the music that I want them to have. So we'll play them again with whatever bumper music they have. It's just some silly drums, and I will be coming up with fabulous bumper music at some point. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to this. And nothing happened. Why? Because I deleted them. Oh, okay. So pay no mind. We are not going to have bumpers for the news or for the leisure section. We're just going to pretend that we're starting the news section. In fact, let's just do this. We start with the news section. There you go. So, for starters, we had been mentioning last week that it was expected that Mexico President Andrés López Obrador, who contracted coronavirus a couple of weeks ago, would be back at work yesterday, and lo and behold, Mexico President is back at work. He attended to his morning conference call yesterday, assuring that he contracted COVID-19, and I quote, because I have to work like millions of Mexicans, he said. He also said that he contracted coronavirus because he did not rush to get vaccinated like other politicians. Instead, he chose to wait for his turn. And that is, of course, our president throwing a little bit of shade at all these politicians and high-ranking officers from our country and from other countries that prioritize themselves instead of the really important health personnel, which is who probably, well, let's say definitely needs to be vaccinated so they can continue doing their work. I also want to mention how fortunate Guadalajara is to have what seems like a transparent government as far as shutdowns during the current pandemic is concerned. Um, we don't know if they're transparent in other regards, but we learned through this news item that Guadalajara has shut down 20 businesses since the current restrictions were implemented. And just this weekend alone, city inspectors visited 560 businesses and gave 12 warnings, and 37 private gatherings were stopped altogether. Now, I don't know if our local reglamentos team is being as diligent, and for all I know they are, but of course they don't usually report on these things as we would like them to. But at least we know that Guadalajara is doing things properly and is making sure that they do whatever they need to do to ensure that private citizens and companies do what they're supposed to do. I also have sad news for moviegoers. It is unfortunate to have learned that Cinemex, one of the 2 movie theater chains that operate here in Puerto Vallarta, has announced an indefinite stop in their nationwide operations starting on February 12, affecting 11 multiplexes in Jalisco alone and 15,000 employees in the entire country. We know that in recent weeks, the National Movie Theater Chamber of Commerce revealed studies that claim that it is safe to go to the movies because COVID-19 does not like to go to the movies, ergo, it is safe to go to the movie theater. And please detect a little bit of cynicism in that last statement. And again, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, no, it's not safe to go to the movies, or at least it's not any safer than any other enclosed spaces. But yes, the Mexican Movie Theater Chamber of Commerce came up with these revelations that it was perfectly safe to go to the movies, and we rolled our eyes together maybe a week and a half ago. I don't even remember. Something else that I wanted to share, in case you were wondering, I did not, this is shady, but it is fun. I did not attend the Super Bowl this weekend, or at least I'm fairly certain that there are no photographs evidencing me at cheering at Tampa's Raymond James Stadium. Of course, that was not the case for good old Dr. Carlos Aranza Doniz, who is the coordinator for the Institute of Health for the state of Mexico, and his chummy assistant, Jose Fernando Gil Garcia. They were identified and photographed at the Tampa Stadium while the state of Mexico is in the red and hospitals are completely saturated in that state. Needless to say, Dr. Aranza will not be returning to his job. A couple of things that actually before we go on with, let me do one more because I have a Super Bowl fashion statement. I haven't checked the comments to see if our dear friend Paul Christ is here. Paul, if you're here, this one is for you because you may be thinking of implementing a new fashion statement and a new line of swimwear based on this little incident that happened on the Super Bowl. Apparently, the game was going on when this dude decided to saunter into the field in the middle of the game. And yes, that is a pink lady's bathing suit he's wearing. He showed his booty, and he ran around until he was trapped and he was taken out of the field. I think this is an excellent opportunity for Paul to start a new line of booty bathing suits and that was, a girl's bathing suit he was wearing. I'm just kidding. And do I feel more confident about wearing my skirt in public? Absolutely no. But this is actually something that happened at the Super Bowl. Has nothing to do with Puerto Vallarta, but I figured I would share it. What can I say? Let me take a quick look at your comments to see if there's anything wonderful to share with everybody. These comments are going to prove to see. Oh, that's awesome, Albert. I know you told us yesterday that you were heading down here. So nice to have Wi-Fi on a plane. I can't believe that's even possible. That shows you how long it's been since I hopped on a plane. Let's see. Joe says, jazz bumpers, please. Okay, I will be looking at good sound effects for our new sections, and we'll see what we can do about that. Ba-dim, bam, boom, bam, bam. Let's see, what else do I see here? I don't see any cues. But let's see. Wasn't that you that was streaking at the Super Bowl? Don't I wish, Larry? Don't I wish? But oh, and Paul is here. There you go, Paul. I am so glad that you're here because if you want to go with fashion, you put on a girl bathing suit, a full one, with a pink one, and then you put on some shorts, and you diligently lower your shorts so that you can reveal your cheeks, and maybe you will also gain nationwide attention. Sean O'Brien calls it the pink thong. That kind of rhymes like King Kong, but we are not entirely sure if it does. James says, now I'm sorry I missed the game. See, James, football is not entirely a bad thing. Sometimes interesting things happen. And I'll tell you something, if you go into YouTube and you look for Super Bowl locker room, girl, let me tell you, there is a nice series of things to look at. And yes, he did seem to have a nice butt, but that's always from afar. Sometimes you get close to those butts and, oh my God, is this turning into a mini Sunday Funday? Seriously. I love it. Let's see, what else do we have? I am realizing halfway through the show that in the midst of being excited about trying out all these new features and stuff like that, I did not prepare the weather for today. Sherry says, Paul wasn't there, a streaker on the Academy Awards show years ago. Yes, David Niven from the Pink Panther movies was presenting, and all of a sudden some dude walked behind him. I remember that because I have an affinity for those kinds of clips on YouTube. Michael sends hugs to Paul Christ. I am looking forward to seeing you in a little bit, Paul. Today we are going to be doing a photo shoot of men's swimwear for, of course, Paul's line, Mercurio Swim. So we'll be surrounded by beautiful, sexy men changing their clothes, putting things on and off. So it looks like it's going to be a challenging Tuesday. It is Tuesday, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. Let's see what else we have. We have Happy Martes from Vancouver. Thank you very much for that. And let me continue with a few. I have a couple extra headlines. We showed the streaker. What do we have next? Oh, yes. We have the a cappella news. Again, these news, the local news were a little light, so I'm just trying to share other items of interest. A cappella singing. Do you know what a cappella singing is? If you don't, I'm about to tell you. A cappella singing is singing without musical instruments. The only instrument that sings is the human voice. Unless you happen to have a choir of a cappella singing dogs, but nobody has produced such a thing. Anyhow, a cappella singing has been around since the beginning of time. Of course, we know it from the Renaissance and from Gregorian chant, even before the Renaissance and so forth and so on. And then came Glee, and we learned everything about a cappella singing groups, although a cappella singers have never stopped to be around us. And now there is this fabulous Japanese group, and I'm going to share this on the show notes, obviously, that has managed to mimic all the sounds that an iPhone makes when you're turning it on, when you're turning it off, when you get a WhatsApp message, and so forth and so on. And I listened to them yesterday, and they were absolutely funny. So I will be so very glad to share this with you today. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, yeah, speaking of singing, this is very good news for those of us that enjoy musical performances online. It is very exciting to learn that the New York Philharmonic has announced their own on-demand streaming service. And it is quite inexpensive. I'll tell you why in a second. It is only $50 a year or $4.99 per month. The available selections include all 5 decades of live from Lincoln Center PBS telecasts and also recent Facebook broadcasts. And for me, just the series of live concert performances of Stephen Sondheim works, you know, his musicals, is worth $50 to just be able to watch these things over and over again. Just warms my heart, and so I'm really, really excited. Let me take a quick look at your comments. Matthew says frozen. I don't know if you're cold or it is your internet. I hope nobody else is frozen around here. Oh, Earl, Acapella iPhone, you're going to love this. These kids are so, it's like they are the new Yumiko Matsuokas, I tell you. They are really, really talented. Let's see what else is showing up here. Claude says, any fluffer required? Actually, no. It's so funny because this whole business of making photography, it sounds really exotic, you're photographing guys and so forth and so on. When it comes down to it, I'm going to burst your bubble. It's work, and you're so focused on trying to make it properly and well that when it comes time to thinking about fluffing, it just doesn't happen. What can I tell you? I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but it's exciting work. It's fun. It's sexy. But no fluffing. But if we ever do a photo shoot that requires a fluffing maneuver, Claude, you will come to mind immediately. Maybe for another day. But speaking of Guadalajara, a shootout occurred yesterday and rumored they abducted the owner of Distrito 5. Ouch. Well, I don't know where you read that, Gary. I'm intrigued because if you have a source, it would be great to know it. If not, I will be keeping my eye open for that news item. Let me see what else we have. Stephanie's truly laughing out loud right now. I am so happy. Of course, I'm not reading your comments in order, so I hope it was something I said. Let's see, what else do we have? Fluffer, we've done that. So honored to be welcomed here during this shitty weather in the north. Todd, welcome to Puerto Vallarta. I don't know how long you're going to be here, but as long as you're here, I hope you have a really good time, and I'm sorry to hear about shitty weather up north. Raymond, silly. Acapella, that's Acapulco, you ding-dong. Let's see, what else do we have? Claude says, I'll wait for an invite. I will keep you posted, baby. Let's see. We are at that point in which I have a surprise for you. You see, part of this whole business of getting used to this new universe with which we're going to continue to broadcast the daily show involves putting videos on the iPad for you to watch. Of course, the videos are usually encoded in high resolution, which may mean nothing to you, but videos have to be comfortably small for us to be able to enjoy them while we're watching the show live. So I am going to go against my own grain, and instead of surprising you for tomorrow's Walking Wednesday, I wish, with your permission, to show the first 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes of tomorrow's Walking Wednesday video. I just want to make sure that it's going to play properly without glitches tomorrow. So with your permission, let me show you the first couple of minutes of tomorrow's Walking Wednesday video. Hello everyone. I am standing right at the entrance to Colonia Emiliano Zapata, overlooking the bridge that goes over the Quale Island. But we're not going to Emiliano Zapata just yet. Today we're going to take this stairs to come down to a little neighborhood that has a bunch of little stores that you may have overlooked. As you can see, we're on the opposite side of the Quale River. Oscar's restaurant would be on the opposite side of the wall, and what's the name of the one that's over there? Oh my God, I forget my restaurant names. Eva's restaurant is over there. But we're not going to go to those restaurants. We are going to go looking at some of the little shops that you can find in this neighborhood, and I am looking for one shop in particular. but I don't want to tell you which one, at least not yet. Please let me know very briefly, if you don't mind, whether you were able to see this properly, whether it, and yes, that's what Los Balcones used to be years ago. Jorge, thank you very much for that. Please let me know very quickly before we keep going with the broadcast, if you were able to watch this successfully. Did you hear the audio properly? And I'm sorry to ask you to do this, but the only way I can make sure that this is happening is by getting feedback while we're actually going live. And as long as we're here, I can tell you that I went to that neighborhood looking for one store in particular. Well, actually not looking, because I know that it's there. I shop there regularly, but I wanted to show it to you so that you can fall in love with it as I love this particular store. What do they sell in that store? That is going to be the surprise for tomorrow's Walking Wednesday. And what will we do after we shop at that store and continue with our walk? Well, I can also give you this ahead of time. Earlier last week, we announced that we were curious to go visit the Joint Co-working Hotel, which is the new building on Insurgentes that has both a restaurant and a co-working environment and a gorgeous little hotel. And we went there. I went there and I did a little walkthrough of the whole property. We visited Bonito Kitchen so that we could check out what it looks like. Unfortunately, they were not ready for dinner, so I couldn't stay to eat. But this is going to be part of tomorrow's Walking Wednesday. I'm really excited. Let me take a quick look at your comments about the quality of the video. And let's see. Okay, Jorge says that he could hear and see clearly. Thank you very much. Jill says the same thing. Dan says everything looked great. Of course, we have to come down from Insurgentes as those steps don't work well for us. Well, the good thing, Dan, is there are other ways to get to that whole general area. I would think it would be easier if you start somewhere around City Hall and then come through the other side. And we can have a conversation about that at some point. Linda says audio and all good on the quickie video. That's nice, thank you. You're getting cute like me, I love it. Oh, the memories of Los Balcones, that makes two of us, Jeffrey. For those of you that don't know, Los Balcones is an ancient gay bar that for the longest time I understand it was like one of the first gay bars in town, even before gay bars became fashionable south of the Cuale in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. And I do know that our good friend Ramses, who DJs at Hotel Mercurio on weekends, he used to work there because he was related to the owners of Los Balcones. And Ramses, in his in all the time that he's been working in town, he has all these wonderful stories of old bars that if you're curious about the gay history of Puerto Vallarta, he's one of those people that we should talk to. Dave Schwartz says, looks great, Paco, thank you very much. Stephanie remarks the same thing. So it's all good. I am very happy. I'm very happy that we are moving forward into this new system that we are using. And that brings us pretty close to the end of our broadcast today. I am so excited that the video turned out well. I had to compress it because I tried to play it earlier and it was just refusing to play. So I think we are pretty much there at the end of today's broadcast. I think it's a little bit short. I apologize for that. But if I had remembered to put together the weather, then we would have been just fine. Tomorrow, we will continue, as always, with the latest news that we can find about town. And as always, I'm grateful for all your comments, your feedback, and all the information that you provide and that you share to build this great community that you make me be a part of. This is really awesome. So between, I love it. Steven says, all this talk of bars is making me thirsty. Well, there are plenty of happy hours out there, Steve. Of course, most bars will expect you to eat something, and that's not the end of the world. So let us say that thank you very much for that, Sherry, and that's a good way and a good moment to part. Thank you all for being part of this community. Thank you for another day, and we'll see you back tomorrow. Have a great day.